Hola! This video is for students in the Legal and Ethics course who might have missed the first class. I usually will encourage you to catch up with your peers, but since it was the first class, I thought it might be important that I go over a couple of things so that you're prepared for class on Wednesday or Thursday, depending on which section you're in. So just to begin, making sure you know how to get into Canvas, I'd sent out an email that I put everyone in the same section, so this would be your kind of Canvas course here. I went over the syllabus in class. I'll let you guys read through the syllabus on your own, but I will kind of quickly show you where to find the syllabus in case you can't find it. You go into files, there are some different folders here. As you can see, I put this ACA guidelines and policies. That is something that will be useful later on in class, so don't worry about that. APA writing resources, all of the papers in this class are going to be APA style. So if you're not familiar with APA writing, I encourage you to get in here, and I have a style guide as well as a sample paper for you to kind of explore. Just remember that your writing should be up to graduate level. Going back into files, so don't worry about course image. Ethical codes. One of the assignments, which I'll discuss in a second with you, because I'll just at least go through the assignment, you're going to be comparing and contrasting two codes of ethics. The first code of ethics that you're going to be looking at will be dependent on whether or not you're school counseling or mental health counseling. If you're mental health counseling, you'll choose ACA code of ethics, and if you're school counseling, the ASCA code of ethics, and in the paper you'll compare and contrast one of these codes of ethics with any of the others. But we'll talk about more of that in class as we get a little closer. But finally, the syllabus is here. If you're in section 1, pick here. Section 2, pick here. The only difference is the dates, the due dates. So if you're on the Thursday section and you use the Wednesday syllabus, you'll be confused about when things are due. So if you're on Wednesday night, you're going to click this document here. Let's just quickly go through this. So like I said, I'll let you go through the syllabus on your own, which you absolutely should do. Here is the text. Hopefully we all have that by now. Attendance policy, you can miss up to one class without it impacting your grade. If you're watching this video, you've already missed that class. So if you miss more than one class period, it'll start to be 5 points off your total grade, 5 percentage points off the final grade, and more than 2 absences will prevent you from maybe completing the course requirements. So you may get an incomplete or fail the course. So of course, if there are reasons why for some reason you couldn't make it, like one of the people who missed class, they were ill, it's not to say you couldn't miss class again, but it just kind of depends. So if you're going to miss more classes, talk to me, and it's kind of it's a case-by-case basis, of depending on how I sort of feel things need to move forward. Okay. You can use technology in class as long as you're not distracted by it. As a side note, let's quickly go over the assignments. So this is the first thing which you need to know as soon as possible. There's going to be a quiz every week, in all the modules. Every week that there's a module, which is most weeks, it's open book and it's timed. I'm starting with, since it's worth 10 points, 10 questions, 10 minutes to answer the question. It's open book, so if you've read already, with 10 minutes, you'll have enough time to kind of go back and find the answer if you don't remember it off the top of your head. If you haven't read it, 10 minutes is not going to be enough time for you to hunt down the answer. So the idea is you have to do the reading first and then take the quiz. But I'll get to modules a bit in a second anyway. The second assignment that you're going to do is the informed consent. Actually, that one's not, anyway. Informed consent, it will be due kind of mid-semester. Informed consent is a document that every counselor gives a client at the beginning of the session. We'll discuss it more in class, but this is a document that we'll work on in class that you actually will be drafting to end up using in your actual practicum that you will start later on in the program. So an important document. The next assignment is one that I already mentioned, your code of ethics comparison. So that'll just be a brief 2-page paper, comparing and contrasting 2 codes of ethics. Again, we'll talk about that more when we get a little bit closer. And then the kind of the final group of projects are these 2 here, group ethical case study, paper, and presentation. So I discussed this with the larger class, but the major project for this course is a ethical case study that you will do as a group. I will be assigning groups. I will try to assign school counselors together and mental health counselors together, but it might not totally work out that way. But it'll be groups about 4 or 5, I think, and each group will get a case study that will be a complicated ethical case study, and through the semester you will turn in different drafts of a paper going through the ethical decision-making model with your group and deciding kind of what you would do. You don't need to worry about it yet. We're going to assign groups in a couple weeks and then give out the case studies. I'll write up a unique case study for every group, and then you'll start working on that paper together. And drafts will start to be due around October. There'll be another draft due, I think, in early November. So there'll be drafts that I'll just kind of read over and give you some feedback to kind of improve the paper, but the final paper will be due at the end of the semester as your final. So there'll be very high grading standards for that final project because it would have had multiple times for me to look over it and suggest improvements and edits. In addition to that, before the final paper is turned in, there will be a case study presentation. So the very last class, every group is going to present to the rest of the class their case study, kind of go through the ins and outs of it and what their ethical decision-making model sort of process is, and all of your peers will give your group feedback that you can then utilize for your paper because the paper is due finals week. So you will have ample feedback in this process. And so don't worry about that yet. But more to come on that, but just so you know, that's kind of an overview of the major assignments. This is kind of a breakdown of the points. 50 points are participation. That relates to kind of how you show up in class. Are you engaged? Is it obvious you've done the reading? Are you adding to the course activities and discussions? Quizzes, there'll be 10 quizzes. I need to fix that. There'll be 12 quizzes, so get rid of that 0. 12 quizzes, 10 points each, there'll be 120 points. Informed consent will be 50 points, your ethical case comparison 50 points, the group case study paper is 200 points, and the group presentation on that case study is 100 for a total of 570 points. This could change. We could add assignments if we feel like that's what needs to happen in the class, but for the most part that's kind of the plan. So as you can see, every week I have these things on the side called modules. These are the readings that are going to be due every week, but if there's a module that week, which there is for this upcoming class, the module has to be done before you come to class, which includes all of the videos and presentations and the quiz. Has to all be done before you come to class. I will not accept late quizzes, late module material, unless there's a really good reason that is communicated to me in advance. So I'm setting this out now because before you come to class Wednesday or Thursday, you need to have completed the module. So what does it mean to complete the module? I'll show you where the module is, but first thing is do the reading. The first thing you want to do every week is do the reading. The modules will open at noon on Friday for both sections. And then everything in the module is due before you have to come to class. So for Wednesday, that's Wednesday at 4:30. For Thursday class, that's Thursday at 4:30. But for the modules, first do the reading. So this week you need to read in the textbook the New Krug chapters 1 and 3. And then after you've done that reading, go to the module. And yours will look a little different than mine, but you click on Module 1, and there'll be a page here. And so in this module, I kind of give a brief explanation. I tell you again to always read the chapters. And then you get this link here, and you can open that in a browser and watch that. And that is a brief lecture that I prepared for you. How meta is that I'm presenting on a video that I presented to you in the module. Next, you're going to watch this video here that I have also included in the module, and so there's going to be some info in there that is going to be, that will kind of reiterate some things that maybe were talked about in the reading or in my lecture, and things that could show up on the quiz. So after you've done all that, you can go back to the module and take the quiz. And so like I said, the quiz will take about 10 minutes to 10 minutes. Well, it is timed, so you get 10 minutes. And so far people are doing okay, so I think that's an adequate amount of time. Just make sure you do the reading first. So that is, I believe, everything that you need to do to get started in this class. Just be sure you do the readings in Module 1 before I see you on Wednesday, Thursday. I look forward to meeting you. I haven't met you yet. The rest of the class hasn't met you, but I'll see you soon. Thanks, you guys. Bye.